Welcome back to the Gemara in Bava Kama, Daf Gimel Amud Bet. We're going to start from where we left off in class. So I have the previous section on this source sheet, but I'm going to start from where we left off, which was figuring out that the Toladot of Maveh also seemed to be just like Maveh, and therefore didn't match the idea that some Av has Toladot that are different from it. So that's what the Gemara is about to say at this point. Ella Toladat de Maveh kemaveh. Rather, the Toladah of Maveh is just like Maveh. V'chika amar Rav Papa, and when Rav Papa was speaking, when Rav Papa said that some Toladot are different than the Avot, Atolada de Esh. He was speaking about Tolada de Esh. This aleph here means on or about. So he was speaking about Tolada de Esh. And this I'm going to put as part of the answer to the previous conversation. Tolada de Esh ma'imihu. What are the Toladot of Esh? So that we can figure out if this is going to be the correct one. Iwema avano sakino umasao shehenichan berosh gago v'naflu beruach mitzuya v'heziko. If you were to say that a Toladah of Esh, right? Obviously the Av of Esh would be a fire going and doing damage. But if you want to say that the Toladah is when you have your stone, your knife, or your bundle, your package, that you have left on top of a roof, rosh gago, and they fell in a ruach mitzuyayin, like a normal wind. It's not that there was a hurricane there, but you left it on the roof, and a normal wind blew it off the roof, v'hiziko, and caused damage. If you're going to say that that kind of case is the Toladah of Esh, hechidami, what exactly is the case? So maybe we could say the ilema is a suggested answer, or you could really see this as part of the continuation of the question, but we can try it this way. If you were going to say this, hechidami, what exactly is the case, right? This suggestion, of course, is not really going to work out. Ibahadi da azlu kamaski, if while they were moving, right, they did damage, meaning the stone, the whatever, falls off the roof in this wind, and its movement causes damage. It hits somebody in the head as they're on the street. Hainu Esh. That is the same as Esh. There's no difference between that Toladah and Esh. Esh is when something is moving and does damage as it moves. Maishna Esh, de koach acher me'urav behen, umamoncha, ushmirato alecha. Hani nami, koach acher me'urav behen, umamoncha, ushmiratan alecha. So we've seen this set up before. Really, it's a question, but it's a rhetorical question. What's the difference between fire, which has the following attributes? Koach acher me'urav behen. There's some other power mixed into it. Right? In this case, the wind. Umamoncha, and it is your property. Ushmirato alecha, and it's your responsibility to watch it. Hani nami, so too with this kind of Toladah, koach acher me'urav behen, some other force is mixed into it, in this case again the wind. Umamoncha, and it's your property. Ushmiratan alecha, and you're responsible for watching it. So, in other words, this is maybe the suggested answer. And this continues the question. And we've essentially said that the Toladah of Esh, or if this is the Toladah of Esh, it's no different from the Av of Esh. So here we go again. Ela Toladah de Esh ke'esh. Rather, the Toladah of Esh, or Hever as it's called in the Mishnah, is just like Esh. V'chika amar Rav Papa, atoladah de Regal. Oh, we've come full circle. Rather, the Toladah of Esh is just like Esh. We're not able to make that the case that's distinctive. And so when Rav Papa was talking, when he said that there's a case where the Toladah is different than the Av, he must have been talking about Regal. Of course, haven't we discussed Regal before? We have. Here we go. Regal. Question! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! How kimna Toladah de Regal keregal? But didn't we say before that Toladah de Regal is just like Regal? How can you go back now and say, wait a second, when Rav Papa said that there's a case where Toladah and Av are different, he was actually talking about Regal? Here's the answer. Bechatzi nezek tzurot. We're talking about a case of chatzi nezek, half nezek, a time when you don't have to pay full damages, but you only have to pay half of the damage caused, tzrurot. And tzrurot are wood chips or pebbles. This would be a case where the animal, let's say, kicks up little wood chips in walking, and those fly off and do damage. Dehilchata gmirela, because this is halacha l'Moshe miSinai. Hilchata gmirela, hilchata literally means halacha. Gmirela was learned, and this is a phrase that means it's halacha l'Moshe miSinai. We have a tradition that teaches us this. We don't derive it directly from any psukim, but we just have a tradition that teaches this. So we know that we just know this. We have learned this. So this is the answer. The answer is that regel is the case where the tolada is different than the av, and the major difference is that you don't pay full damage. This is a case again where the animal kicked up little wood chips, they do damage, and we have a halacha l'Moshe miSinai that you then have to pay chatzi nezek. Ve'amai kari la tolada de regel. So why is it called a tolada of regel? Why consider this to be a tolada of regel if it is in fact different, which all along we were looking for something which was a tolada and is different, but you still have to explain why it's still classified as a tolada. And the answer is l'shalem min ha'aliyah, to teach you that you have to pay from the best materials, the best property available to you, which is an idea that we've seen before. So classifying chatzi nezek tzrurot as part of regel allows you to know that halacha about this case. Just as with the rest of regel, you have to pay from the best. So too with this, only this is different because it's only chatzi nezek, it's not full nezek. The Gemara has a problem with this though. V'hami baye Rava. But didn't Rava ask a question about this? Debaye Rava, because Rava asked, chatzi nezek tzrurot migufo mishalem o min ha'aliyah mishalem. Does he pay from the property itself, or does he pay from the best? Right? Does he pay from the animal, or does he pay from the best of his property? This was a question that Rava asked. So how can you be so sure that when Rav Papa said that there is a tolada that is different from the av, that he was talking about regel, that's only going to work if it's still classified under regel, and maybe Rava wouldn't classify it under regel because he wasn't so sure that you pay from the aliyah. La Rava mibayile, la Rav Papa pshitale. Sure, Rava had this question, but for Rav Papa, the answer was obvious. It was simple for him. La Rava mibayile, amai kari la tolada de regel. So the question of why call it a tolada of regel only applies to Rava, because for Rav Papa it was obvious that you pay from the aliyah, from the best of the property. So Rav Papa would for sure consider chatzi nezek tzrurot to be part of regel. So for Rava, who has this question, why is it considered a tolada of regel, since he isn't sure that the property of paying from the best of the property would apply? And the answer is lepotra b'reshut harabim. In that case, what regel and the tolada of regel, chatzi nezek tzrurot, have in common is that in both cases you are patur, you, the owner of the animal, are exempt if this happened in reshut harabim. Presumably because reshut harabim is a place where we sort of expect animals to be walking. We don't have the same level of damages or of responsibility for damages that they cause. So we have finished this section, we have established that the case that Rav Papa was talking about in Nezikin, where the av is a bit different from the tolada, or maybe I should say the tolada is a bit different than the av, is a case of chatzi nezek tzrurot, where an animal kicks up chips and it does damage, and that falls under regel. And the way that it is different from the av, according to Rav Papa, would be that, the way that it's different from the av is that it's only chatzi nezek. The way that it's the same as the av of regel, according to Rav Papa, is that you pay from the best of the property you have available to you. And according to Rava, what it has in common with regel, and the reason it's classified under regel, is because you are exempt in reshut harabim. Okay, we'll stop there.